Hi, Nigel here with the Drivewire. I have the 2021 Ram TRX, or T-Rex if you prefer, obviously named after one of the biggest, most ferocious apex predators that ever lived. And this car is completely bonkers. Someone at Fiat Chrysler many years ago had a meeting and the brief was simple: Hellcat Everything. And so far they've done exactly that, obviously except the minivan. This is now the most powerful pickup truck on sale today. It's also the fastest pickup truck on sale today. And Ford fanboys, I'm sorry, but you'll have to wait until 2022 to see if the Raptor has an answer to this beast. Now, the TRX is based on a standard 1500, but clearly they didn't just bolt a Hellcat engine onto a regular 1500. That wouldn't have been a great piece of engineering. So instead, what they've done is at Ram is they've beefed up the frame. It's 74% different from the standard 1500. They've also relocated the axles to make them a little wider than they were before. Gives it a bit bigger footprint, and added these brand new 18-inch wheels on these Goodyear all-terrain tires, giving it a total ground clearance of 11.8 inches. It will also ford up to 33 inches of water if you can find any, not here in Southern California. It also has new suspension from Bilstein, these massive 2.5-inch diameter pistons with electronic valve damping. So with all these modifications, it can pretty much do anything. Regular drive on the freeway, race in the Baja 1000, scrabble up rocks, do some hill climbing, go down some hills, or simply go to the shops for a loaf of bread. Now, the other thing that's changed, so as before, the axles have changed. That gives you an additional 5.6 inches of width, both here and in the hips at the back, and it does make it drive quite big. Now, from the back, it's pretty much a standard Ram. Obviously, it tells you right there, and really the only giveaway is the fact that it has this TRX badge right here on the back, and then your standard lift gate and standard 5.7-inch bed. Because it's a crew cab, you lose a little bit of the bed length, but you get limo-like room in the rear. My only thing about this car is I think it feels a little bit too close to the regular 1500. I think it could sort of stand out a little bit more. Obviously, these massive 5-inch pipes at the back for the exhausts are a little bit of a giveaway, but all in all, I think it could look a little bit more aggressive for the kind of performance that it has. Now, viewed from the front, it does look very aggressive. Huge intake here. This huge grille, Ram right here. This is another intake. Most of all these intakes are real. Right, so how much does this one cost? They start at $69,995. This one is $88, give or take. And it has the $7,400 package, which gives you all sorts of goodies inside. The technology package, it gives you leather seats, it gives you everything pretty much that you'd want. But if this is a car that you're going to use off-road for most of the time, save your money and just buy it for the base $70,000. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. So under the hood you can't see a whole lot because of this plastic cover, but it has a modified 6.2 liter Hellcat engine with a 2.4 liter supercharger, twin scroll. It's been modified so it can cope with additional dust and different angles when you are off-roading the vehicle. It makes a ridiculous 702 horsepower. That's 702 horsepower in a pickup truck. The Ford Raptor is so far behind, it doesn't even know what hit it. 702 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque. This thing is insane. It will definitely do 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. As I said, being a shorter bed, 5.7 feet, there is acres of room in this crew cab. I mean, it is ridiculous how much room there is. You can stretch your legs out. My seat's in my position here, but even if you put it back, you have plenty of room in here. And these seats are pretty comfortable, leather, heated and cooled. And then up front here, you get a little trim of carbon fiber, 2 cup holders, another cup holder here, and another one in that door. So 4 in all for rear seat passengers. You've got your controls here for your heated seats. You've got 115 volt power. You've also got 4 USBs, 2 fast, 2 slow, and obviously air vents. A ton of headroom. It's ridiculous. Very comfortable place to be. And under the seat, simply tip this up. The other one tips up. There's a little bit of storage. It also has the storage under the floor to give you some additional storage right there as well. Yep, acres of space for your stuff. All right, let's take a look at the front seat, and it is very, very nice in here. Probably one of the nicest trucks that I have driven so far. Really nice seats, plenty of support, heating and cooling. Let's just start it up real quick. As is normal with most trucks, you get a lot of storage in the front. You got 2 cup holders right here. Wireless charger, which unfortunately does not work with my phone case. It's my fault, not theirs. Your 8-speed transmission's right here. There's a little bit of cubby space in here with the 1 USB. You can open up this other one, put plenty of stuff. A little coin holder in here. It's really quite nice. Really nice, solid materials used, leather wrapped with Alcantara on the steering wheel. Carbon fiber here. There's a little bit of carbon fiber here. It's all done really tastefully. Best part about any of these Rams is their infotainment system with the new Uconnect 5. Probably one of the best I have ever used. And then this new big screen, which comes with the $7,400 package that this car has, gives you those heated and cooled seats, leather, etc. It's a really nice screen to use, and it's fast. Uconnect is still one of my favorite in-car systems on the market today. Okay, so here we have the infotainment screen. At the top, what I like is easy access to the lane keep assist, which is particularly aggressive in this car. And I was looking all over the place for it and then realized it was right in front of me right here, right next to the hazard switch. So yeah, slightly annoying. But yeah, really fast. You go through media, you've got controls for your seating, heated and cooled as I said. Here's your climate control. Great looking graphics. I really like it. And then you've got your Uconnect apps, all these different things. Heated wheel, Wi-Fi hotspot. There's a backup camera. There's cameras all over this car. Helps you with parking. There's a back cam if you want to see what's going on if you got something like a trailer or stuff like that. So super cool, super easy to use. I also like the fact that you've got these physical buttons as well. Maybe there's too many because they seem to be the same buttons in the actual screen as there are on the outside, but they're nice, they're easy to find, and particularly when you're on the move, bouncing around in Baja Mode, they're easy to use in general. You got a bunch of auxiliary switches if you want to add anything like some crazy lights or whatever else you need. Trailer system right here, and you got your traction control off, which depending on the mode you're in, and I'll show you the modes in a second, will depend on whether you have this on or off, or you can just manually push it off at any time. There's your Wi-Fi. Doesn't work with my case, unfortunately, as I said. And then you've got a bunch of USBs, very generous with the USBs as well. Place for your phone. Really, really nice place to be. Definitely one of the best trucks. You've also got a 12 volt DC up here, and then this little storage space next to this Ram. Harman Kardon stereo is another one of the upgrades in the $7,400 package. I don't know if it's going to be worth it. This thing is quite noisy, but all in all, great interior. The best. Okay, so down here are the controls for your traction system, and obviously low and high 4-wheel drive. You've got axle lock, and then you've got 4-wheel drive auto, which you run in all of the time. There's no 2-wheel drive mode. Right above that is the TRX mode, so just press that. You get into all the different modes. You got different drive modes: sport, tow, snow, custom, mud, sand, rock, or Baja. Baja raises the suspension. Baja gives you a more compliant suspension with more suspension travel for bumpy Baja type terrain. Rock is self-explanatory, mud and sand, etc. And then you can basically fiddle around with the transmission, the paddle shifter, stability control, suspension, and steering, and change them to street, race, blah, blah, blah. So it has a bunch of different stuff. Vehicle dynamics tells you the steering angle when you're off-road, what your mode is, in this case 4H automatic. Is the axle locked? In this case it is unlocked. It'll show you all the information based on that. You can go dyno, engine, G-force gauges, timers. Timers is the cool one. Timers will show you your latest or last 0 to 60 and then the best. So it looks like this truck, someone has got it to 60 in 3.9. I told you it would get there in under 4 seconds. So right ahead of the driver, you have your gauges, how fast, how many revs, etc., and of course the one that's the killer in a bad way is the fuel economy. I'm averaging 8.3 miles to the gallon. I have had it into the 9s a couple of times on a long run, but it is pretty catastrophic. So bear that in mind. If you decide that you're going to buy this truck, you are going to be spending a lot on fuel. As I said before, underneath the TRX button that we talked about, there's this little switch here that you can toggle back and forth and go into snow. There's tow mode. This is where it shows you these cool graphics. Sport mode, which I stay in most of the time, turns the traction control off. And again, you got mud, Baja, etc. You're gonna have a whale of a time in all these different modes. All right, let's just see quickly what this sounds like standing still. I'll just go ahead and start it. Does have somewhat of a soft limiter on it, but it does sound pretty spectacular. Sounds a lot better on the move though, and we shall get there very shortly. Let's take this beast for a drive. A little bit of off-road, a little bit of on-road. See how we go. All right, so it usually starts up in regular mode, auto. So I'm going to switch it to Baja Mode. Some of these modes will turn off the traction control, some of them won't. Rock crawling, Baja, etc. will turn it off, and Sport for on-road. All right, let's see what this looks like. All right, ready? Okay, let's go. Bog down a little bit. But you can hang on and grit your teeth. Wow. Wow. What Ram has done here is completely insane. I don't know if Ford is going to be able to better this. I know that they have plans for a 5.2 liter supercharged V8. But it's not necessarily all about how big of an engine. It's about how it puts it down. And this thing just copes. I mean, I'm doing, 60 miles an hour along here on a dirt road, and it's ironing out this washboard surface. I'm getting a little bit of jiggle, but oh my God, if I was in anything else, I wouldn't have any teeth left. Or a spine. God, this is good. Oh my God, I don't know if I could see myself spending $70,000 on this car, but wow. I can feel the back kicking out just a little bit. Because in this mode, my traction control's off, so I've got to handle it with a little bit of care. If there's one fault I could find, I could use bigger brakes. These are pretty big, but I feel like 6,600 pounds that goes this fast, I feel like beefier brakes would be something I would like. Watch out, rabbit. Huge vehicle coming through. All right, so here we arrive back on some regular pavement. a sort of twisty section. So I'm gonna switch this away from an off-road mode into sport mode. This is where the traction control stays off, but it gets quite that never gets old. Alright, so we found some off-road area, and we've got it in Baja Mode, 4-wheel low, and we're going to see if we can get up this hill right here. I don't see it's going to have any problem. It's very sandy, super soft sand. So we have it in Baja Mode. Let's see what it can do. Looking good. I'm out of breath coming up that hill. It's pretty steep. Pretty easy.
You laughed at it.
All right, off we go back down this hill. Pretty hard to see over the hood in this car. This Baja Mode is super cushy though. Really super comfortable in here despite going all over these big rocks. And I'm controlling the descent with my right foot on the brake. So we shall see how it goes. So the hill descent control is my right foot essentially, but it seems to be plowing through this with no problem. Sort of fell into a large hole there, but we'll get back out. Now we're crabbing somewhat, but absolute piece of cake. Piece of cake. Unbelievable. And it sort of rears its nose up. Incredible. And nobody is behind me. The handling is impressive though, and the high speed stability, this is one of few. I mean, most trucks are pegged at like 100 miles an hour because of their tires, but most of the time they can't go that much faster anyway because they're shaped like a brick. This one I'm sure would go a lot faster if it had like normal street tires on it, but its handling at high speed is absolutely phenomenal. I was probably like 100 yards off the line there before anybody started moving. It just powers off the line like a cheater. supercharger whine that doesn't get old. Does not get old. I mean, exactly how nuts are the people at Fiat Chrysler to come up with stuff like this? Come on. Well done, Fiat Chrysler. Wow. Your sense of humor is alive and kicking with this car. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. There aren't really enough superlatives to say about this car. And so few faults. I don't know what to say. It's like, you can't blame the fuel economy and say that's a fault. I mean, that's not just Ram's fault. It's my fault for sticking my foot down at every moment I can. Like that. And that was acceleration from 80 to 97. So what a feat of engineering this thing is. I don't think there's anything that competes with this as of yet. Let's wait to see what Ford comes up with. But once again, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, make some comments. Let me know what you think about this ridiculously good pickup truck. The best pickup truck that I have ever driven. Ever. It's incredible. Out.